What's up, guys? This is Sean Otto, owner of Valhalla Training Grounds, and you are listening to the Valhalla Chronicles. This is not the bullshit that you read on social media. These aren't fake stories told by fake people. These are the Chronicles of Life. With us this week, we have another special guest, because Sal's bitch ass is out because he's still having car trouble. So with us today is Taylor McDowell. Thank you for being here again.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you for getting ready in a timely manner.
You're welcome.
I'm totally being fucking sarcastic. She took forever to get ready.
It wasn't that long.
Well, you look great though.
Thank you.
So it was totally worth it. Even though you didn't fucking need it. But whatever.
Okay, well, this was a comeback from the last appearance that I had because I was
No, you looked awesome.
with dirty hair.
No, you
It
looked
was
fucking great.
in a clip.
No, you look
Yes,
fucking awesome.
with no makeup.
Oh, fuck, you
and
look
on
so
like
good.
2 hours of sleep
Oh, so
and
good.
struggling.
So good.
So I had to redeem this appearance.
Oh, no, you didn't need it. It's fine.
Thank you.
So this week, we're going to talk about having the hard conversations, which some of it involves relationships, and you are the voice of the female perspective. So we have to bring you on to get a female's point of view, because it can't just be me and Sal sitting here talking about this shit. So, the episode last week, we had Chad on. If y'all didn't listen to it, go check it out, 'cause it's a great episode.
It was really good.
Yeah, it was awesome. I was
Yeah, it was.
excited to do that one. Yeah, it came out really good. Really good. But we talked about a lot of struggles that men go through. And one of the things that you have to do, as we talk about a lot on the show, is you have to do uncomfortable shit to get to anything that's worth having. And one of the really uncomfortable things that you have to do that a lot of people don't do is starting off as having the uncomfortable conversations with yourself. When you're in the same type of relationship cycle, or you're in the same employment cycle, emotional cycle, financial cycle, whatever, and you can't get out of where you're at, or you're not getting out of where you're at some point you have to be able to look in the mirror and say that it's you. You're the problem. You're the common denominator in all those situations, and it sucks, and it's hard, and it's very uncomfortable to have to sit there and admit to yourself that you're the problem. But the first step to getting to where you want to go and where you want to be in any aspect of your life is you have to be able to do that. And a lot of people know what I went through with my divorce. I had to do with my divorce because it was all me, regardless what excuses or whatever I had to make. It was my fault at the end of the day, and I had to be able to admit that to myself. So you have to have vulnerability and accountability. But like Chad and I talked about in the previous episode, my personal opinion when you're going through shit like that is, and the reason I feel that way is because it's what I did, is I took 100% of the blame. I didn't allow myself an out or an escape to say, oh, well, yeah, this is my fault, but this could have been different, or that could have been different, or whatever.
Because that's negotiating with yourself at that point and justifying things that were going on.
Well, right, and I feel like it doesn't fully close the door on the behavior that needs to change.
Right.
Because you're still giving yourself a little bit of an out. I feel like you have to bear all that weight.
I agree.
You have to shoulder all of it. Some therapists or whatever may not say that's right, but on the road to personal development, personal growth, starting a new chapter, digging yourself out of the darkest point in your life, I just kind of feel like you got to rip the Band-Aid off. You don't pull it slowly. You sit there and you own all the shit. You take 100% ownership of, this is why I'm at this point in my life.
Well, I know to piggyback off of a previous episode that we had done together on relationships, I was in therapy because of what was going on, a situation that I was in. And when she told me, this is your fault, you can make changes and be somewhere else. And I'm going to show you what's been going on. That way, once you see it, then you'll recognize it. Yeah. And so when she laid it all out there, it didn't take long.
Right.
As soon as I owned everything and realized it was my fault for allowing certain things, it was easy for me to make changes because I acknowledged it. I accepted it.
Well, I feel like you can't, like I said, I feel like you don't 100% get on that path and get on that journey, and you don't 100% close that door unless you bear the burden of it all. Because you're just leaving that little piece that hangs on, that little piece that's there.
Yeah.
And to be able to do that, it starts with having that hard conversation with yourself. Like, the reason why I'm not where I'm at financially is because of me. The reason why I'm not in I don't have the type of relationships that I want is because of me. The reason why my health is not where it needs to be, or why my health is fucked up, is because of me. I mean, it has nothing to do with, oh, well, the media tells me this, or these people tell me to eat the right way or that. I mean, the research and everything is out there. I mean, we live in a technologically advanced age where it doesn't matter what the fuck you want to be better at. You want to be financially better, you want to be emotionally better, you want to be healthier. Like, the information's out there.
And that's what I was going to say is knowledge is power.
Right.
So once you research and find out, okay, these are the steps that I need to take, or this is how I can get from point A to point B, the knowledge is out there.
Right.
You just have to find it and then make those steps and go forward.
Well, and no one's going to do it for you. At the end of the day, like, you have to do it. Like, you could have some people on the way show you, oh, this may be better, that may be better. Like, if you get a financial advisor or something like that. But at the end of the day, you have to make the decision to do.
Right. You have to take the steps for it. I mean, that's just like, I'm just going to say coaching because I can relate to that. A lot of people can.
Sure.
You can hire the best coach out there and they can give you the plan. They can write down your training program. They can write down your nutrition program, but they can't follow you home. They can't lift spoon to mouth.
Right.
So it is up to you once you have the plan to actually implement it, to get yourself where you want to be.
Well, and the part that I think a lot of people miss is, taking ownership of everything is hard. Having that conversation with yourself is hard. It actually you feel like you're beating yourself down a little bit. But what a lot of people don't realize is there's actually a lot of empowerment in that as well, because it is on you. So you don't have to rely on someone else to make this, like you're not at the mercy of someone else's schedule. It's not like, oh, well, I have to wait for 2 weeks because this person's going to be available to do this. It's like, it's on you. So you can literally, so the second you have that conversation with yourself, the second that it's over with, you can start.
I just had this conversation with a client a couple days ago where I said, we are starting now. This is all mental. Yeah. This is in your head. We are starting right now. So,
absolutely.
And then I messaged her this morning. I said, hey, just popping in. Like, how'd your breakfast go? How'd your morning go? Like, I'd like to know.
Right.
And I mean, she dug in and she's on it. She's back on her plan.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I mean, if you're in a shitty relationship and you need to get out, I mean, that can start now. If your relationship is broken and it needs to be fixed, like, you can have that conversation with your partner now.
Right.
If you're not financially where you want, and you can stop frivolously spending money now. If your health is not where you want it to be, you can start eating better. You can start exercising now.
Yep.
Like, you can literally walk out your house and go walk.
No, I absolutely agree.
I mean, it can start now, but it all starts with that conversation. Until you sit there and say that all this shit is on me, all this shit that I'm either doing or not doing is my fault, none of that can start, because you're just enabling yourself to make excuses.
No, I agree. And I think that when you do actually put the nail in the coffin and you're like, okay, this is my fault and I am starting now means now. Yeah. For me, like, time is priceless, absolutely priceless. Sure. And it's compounded. Your actions are compounded, whether they're small, big, or whatever. So if you don't start right now, that's 5 minutes gone that you could have been working on yourself.
I agree.
If you don't start the next day, that's a whole day that's gone that you could have been working on yourself. So it's got to be immediately.
Well, no, and that's a good point, that time compounds.
It does.
So as you I mean, in the fitness realm, which is obviously that's what I'm in, people want to know what's the secret to getting in shape or whatever, and I always tell them the foundation of it's consistency. Mm-hmm. I mean,
that's with finances too, then.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, relationships at all. Like every day you can stack, like it's bricks. Mm-hmm. So if you skip a day doing it, you skip a brick, mm-hmm. and it takes that much longer to build a house. Whereas if you don't skip days, that house gets built a lot quicker.
Yep.
But the support of it is having accountability and having those conversations with yourself. Like, what am I doing or not doing to make this happen?
Correct.
You know, I've talked about auditing your life a lot. Mm-hmm. And so that's what it is. It's like, okay, my relationship is shit. What am I doing to allow myself to be here? Or what am I doing to contribute to this relationship being shit? What am I not doing?
What am I leaving on the table?
Right. What am I not doing to help make this relationship better?
Right.
And it's the same thing. I mean, with your health, what am I doing to make myself unhealthy? Mm-hmm. What am I not doing to make myself healthy? Relationships, it's all the same shit. It
is.
But you have to get real with yourself. You have to get real with yourself and say, I'm giving myself excuses every day. I'm finding a reason. I've found a reason these last months, years, whatever, to not make this happen. And no one else has kept me from doing it but me.
But I think a good point too is that a lot of people, I'll say this, commonly when someone actually takes that initiative and they're like, okay, I do need to change this. But then there's that, okay, how? How do I do that? I feel lost. How do I do that? And it is okay to ask for help. It's okay to get a financial advisor. It's okay to seek a therapist for whatever you need. Yeah. It's okay to talk to business professionals about the industry that you're in and network or whatever you need to do to make those steps also. Because sometimes you can't do it all by yourself. You need help.
Well, what you have to acknowledge, though, is in all those areas that you just talked about, mm-hmm. every person in a different area, if they're good at what they do, mm-hmm. is going to say that, okay, I'm going to show you the way, but I can't make you do it.
Right.
So, like, I'm going to show you what there is to do.
Right.
But if you don't do it, it doesn't fucking matter.
Correct.
I can sit here and tell you all day.
I mean, I'll put myself out there, for example. So, like starting a business in taxes, I'm like, I don't know. I want to do it. I know I need tax write-offs, like a lot of tax write-offs. Tired of paying taxes. So how are we going to do that? And remember, I told you, I said we have a deadline by the end of the year. Like, it's got to be set up for 2025. Yeah. Like, I want it set up for 2025. Yeah. So, I mean. And
I told you can go and look on the Secretary of State's website and get it all going. That's the thing. Well, you work for the state.
No, it's not the setting up. It's not the setting up the business. It's the tax write-off side. It's the.
Oh, that's easy.
That's the part where I'm like, easy. Okay, well,
that's fucking
we need to get this set up for taxes.
Yeah, no, that's easy. Yeah. No, you work for the state, so it really should be twice as fast for you. Yeah. Because you could probably go to the certain floor in the building and actually talk to somebody instead of fucking getting on a computer and be like, hey, can I go ahead? I work in such and such department. Can I go ahead and start an LLC? And they'd be like, oh, yeah, sure. And you could probably fill all your shit out right there. Whereas us peons have to go online and do this whole fucking process to do it. I'm sure that's not how it is, but I'm just fucking with you. If it was me, you could guarantee if it was me and I worked in the same fucking building where LLCs were started, I've opened so many, my fucking ass would be on that floor and be like, yo, can we make this happen right now instead of me like going online and doing all of this shit? Because that's a pain in the fucking ass. I'm all about getting shit done now. Like, I want to do it now.
And I'm okay, but yes, I am too. The only thing is I need to set up a meeting with a CPA for the taxes. Yeah. The other stuff's fine. I got that. That's on lock.
Well, I got the CPA taken care of, so you're good. Okay. We got.
All right. But the action part.
And I
need it set up for 2025.
Yeah, and I have the spreadsheet and everything, the blank spreadsheet that I can send you to where you'd be good with all of that shit too. So yeah, so you're good.
Okay.
You're straight. Right. Cool. You just have to sit down and do it.
Okay. And we are.
No, yeah, we are. We absolutely are.
Okay.
But yeah, so
action.
Yeah, I mean, the first action that has to start is you have to take accountability for what you're doing. It's kind of like a book recommendation that's not going to be the book recommendation for today, but a good book is The Dichotomy of Leadership by Jocko Willink. He was a Navy SEAL commander. And he talks about how he has a company now called Echelon Front that does business consultation and stuff like that.
Okay.
And he talks about the dichotomy of leadership is whether you own a business or, you know, you're the business owner of your life. Mm-hmm. If anything is going wrong, it's your fault. Mm-hmm. So as a business owner, if you go all the way to the bottom of the totem pole,
whatever they're doing down there is your fault.
Correct.
It absolutely is your fault.
Correct. So it's the same thing with you. You're the CEO. I've talked about it before. You're the CEO of your life. Mm-hmm. You're the business. You know, whether you own a business or not, you do own a business, and it's you.
Right.
So even at the lowest level of you, if shit's not going right, it's your fault.
I agree.
I mean, you're the leader. You're driving the fucking car.
I agree.
So you have to be able to get real with yourself, and you have to have that vulnerability, which is fucking hard to say. Yo, I mean, it's on me. Like, I have to make a change tomorrow, right? Like, not tomorrow, like now. Mm-hmm. And getting out of relationships is hard. Becoming financially responsible is hard. Owning your shit is hard. But look at what's at the end of the journey. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a lot of really, I mean, financial freedom's fucking awesome. Having an amazing relationship is awesome. I mean, it's easy. I mean, I brought all the tools and shit that I learned in our relationship, and I would have never have gained those tools if I didn't have that conversation with myself and say, look, dude, you're a piece of shit right now. If you don't fix this, if you don't fix you and get reconnected to you and get reconnected to your values and your beliefs and live in that shit 110% every day, you're not going to have this relationship in your head that you want. Because I had an idea what I wanted for an ideal relationship, but I had to say, okay, that's great. You're never gonna fucking have that. How you are right now. You
gotta act accordingly.
Right. Right. So like, you want this, well, cool. How you are right now, it's not happening. And it's the same thing in any aspect. Okay, you want to look this way, that's great. But what you're doing right now, it's not going to fucking happen.
Right.
You know? You want to be a millionaire, great, awesome. What you're doing right now, you're not going to be a fucking millionaire. Mm-mm. I mean, and it's, I go back to the same things because I feel like that's like the core parts of your life is your mental, emotional, physical, and financial aspects of your life. Like, you can get those in tune and it kind of trickles into everything else.
Yeah.
So I kind of always keep going back to those. But it's like, yeah, if you're not where you want to be, you know, you have to get real with yourself and say, are the habits that I'm doing, is the shit that I do every day, day in and day out, is that going to lead me to this?
Right. And we had this conversation the other day, you and I, about, I had brought it up and you talked about it another way though. How I said you dress for the job that you want, and you act in a way.
Yeah, it's a book. A book I was reading talked about that. It was Happy Pocket Full of Money. I think what it was a financial book that I loved because it took a completely different. I've read lots of financial books, and it took a completely different topic on financial success. A lot of these other books tell you like all the different avenues to make money and what to invest in and this, that, and how to be diverse and how you save your money and obtain money and create money and all these things. This book was all internal. Mm-hmm. It was. Well,
it's kind of like manifestation.
Right. You're right. It was like, does your mind live in a state of abundance or a state of lacking? Like, do you operate and do you speak a language of abundance or a language of lacking?
Right.
And it talked about all that. And one of the things was how you live your life. Do you conduct yourself and dress and live your life like you're rich? Or then do you live like you're poor? And that doesn't mean
That doesn't mean go out and spend all your money going to debt.
Right. I feel like I need to clarify
Right.
that.
I was like, whoa.
Yeah, no, that doesn't fucking, for all the people out there, it doesn't fucking mean go buy a Ferrari, okay? It meant, do you put effort into what you wear every day? Like,
Right.
do you have a personal hygiene program before you leave the house? Or do you walk out the house looking like a fucking bum?
Right.
It has nothing to do with the brands of clothing you wear, this, that, and the other. It's just how you conduct yourself.
Right.
Do
Or
you
even
conduct
mindset.
yourself right like you're a prestigious person that is worth a lot,
Correct.
that has a lot, or do you conduct yourself like you're a fucking nobody?
Correct.
Awesome book. Awesome fucking book. But yeah, that's how we got. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
No, you're good.
I was just giving everybody else context of where the conversation came
Right.
from. But yeah, finish what you were saying.
I don't know. I'm 80.
It was about
ADHD.
when you were talking about, are you living in according to what you want? Like, are you
right.
representing?
Right, because you're representing the job that you want, or the relationship that you want, or the financial status that you want, or whatever it might be. You operate within those parameters. And you don't tell yourself, oh, well, I don't have this yet, so I'm not going to operate that way, or I can't think that way yet because I don't have that yet.
Correct.
Well, no, if that's what you want, act like that.
Right.
Have it under your belt that this is who I am and this is what I'm going to be, and take the steps to do it.
Correct. Well, a perfect example, a personal example of that is, as horrible as it is to say, but so right before my divorce, when I was married, and I was cheating, and I was sleeping around and acting as if I was single,
End up single.
even though I wasn't. So I ended up single. So when I was single and women would message me to be fuck buddies or would hook up or whatever, because of all the work I was doing, I was like, I could have done it. I was single. I didn't have an obligation to anyone. I could have gone and had as much sex as I wanted to, and I wouldn't have been doing, on my side, I wouldn't have been doing anything wrong. But that's not what I wanted. I wanted a relationship. I wanted a relationship rooted in trust and loyalty, and I wanted it to
Right.
grow into this big thing. So I had to conduct myself like I was that person.
Well, right, because you wouldn't have attracted
Correct.
what you wanted.
Correct.
And who you were in that moment, or I guess entertaining those demons or whatever it might be.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's so when I said I wasn't gonna, even though there was nothing technically wrong with doing any of that at the time when I was single, I had made a commitment to myself, and I had that conversation with myself saying, we're not doing this shit anymore.
Right.
We're gonna be better. So I lived it, whether it was right or wrong or not. Like, no, this is what I believe in. This is what I don't believe in. This is the goal that I want for this aspect of my life.
Right.
So I'm going to live in this. I'm going to live according to this. I'm going to we're
Right. Because I think that the certain mindset and certain actions actually propels away what you want. So you
Yeah.
have to act accordingly. You have to attract it to
well,
you.
it's the law of attraction.
Right.
So,
Because
yeah.
you will actually end up propelling away what you're actually wanting whenever you're not acting within the realm of receiving.
Correct. Well, and the only way to draw that line in the sand to know how you want to act and how you don't want to act is it starts with that conversation. Like, what am I doing or not doing to attract or unattract what I want, and what do I have to change? What are these actions that I need to start doing now to literally dissolve this negative energy that I have around me that's pushing everything away that I want? You can change that energy now.
Right.
You don't have to wait. So it's
Right.
like we need to start dissolving the negative energy and start bringing in the positive.
I agree.
Yeah. I mean,
like that.
I've experienced it, and people think a lot of the shit that I post on social media is bullshit, or it's opinionated, or it's aggressive, or whatever. And it is aggressive because I'm telling y'all what I went through.
But you have to be aggressive about your life and what you want.
Absolutely. But like,
I really do believe that.
I went through this shit and I saw what's needed to be done to defeat it, get past it, become better, attract the shit that you want in your life. And it was me. Like even the program that I got in, like they just told me what to do. I had to go do it. It was like it wasn't okay if you listen to this every day and you just listen to the shit we tell you to do, but don't do it. Like your life's going to be great.
But I think that that's what a lot of people. I think that there's motivation to get into something like that, and that's where people get lost because they're like, "Well, I paid for it, I got it," and they're like,
"No,
oh.
Fuck no."
But I actually have to do work.
Yeah.
But it's got to be consistent work.
Yeah. And every day.
The motivation kind of falls off because you don't have the discipline, and then you're out.
Yeah.
You got to create that
100%.
discipline to stay on track every single day to get where you want to be.
I did the program for 30 days. Then when it was over, I had anxiety because I wanted to keep doing something. And I contacted Chad, and Chad's like, no, they have a year follow-up program that you can do. So I did that.
Yeah.
And I did it, and I did the program every fucking day for 13 months because it was the first 30 days, then it was a year. And I did the shit that they told me to do every day. Journaling and reading and any of the assignments that they had me do. I did it every fucking day, like every day. So I got a lot out of it, and I learned a lot of shit in a short amount of time, but it was because of the effort.
It's an everyday effort.
Absolutely.
Whatever you want to do. Yeah. Financial, relationship, whatever, health, it's every single day effort.
Absolutely.
And I think that's why it can kind of, I guess that's why it can kind of be a lost thing on some people because they get tired of the mundane every single day consistency and they get bored with it.
See, I think people fall off because they don't have that conversation. I think people think there's a problem and they're like, okay, I know some shit's got to change, but I don't think they actually look in the mirror and say, you're the problem. You're why I'm where I'm at. And because that's a pretty big kick in the balls.
It is.
Like for you to literally look at yourself and say, okay, you're the problem. Instead of sitting there talking with your friends or sitting there by yourself and be like, man, you know what? Shit's just got to change. Like stuff's not going right. It's not going my way. Like things have got to change. Like I'm going to get in a program. That's two different things in my mind. That's two completely different fucking things. That's like doing some shit and then shit getting a little bit better and be like, okay, things are going better, but I don't really need any more. It's like, I'm done.
Correct.
As opposed to being like, no, dude, like you're still fucked up. Like you're the reason that your life is how this is. So like we need to keep going.
Yeah.
Like that's two different things. And so that's why I think having that conversation with yourself is so important, because without it, it's just not the same. It's just not. I mean, anyone that's been there, when I keep relating shit to myself so people can understand that it's just not, it's not all bullshit. When my ex-wife told me she was going to leave if like shit had happened again, the shit didn't stop from happening. It stopped when she left. And it's the same thing. It's like, okay, you telling yourself, yeah, there's a problem, stuff needs to change. That's great. But until you have that conversation and look at yourself and say, no, it's not the things that have to change. It's that you have to change because you're the fucking problem. It's different. That's the difference between saying you're going to leave and fucking leaving.
Well, right. I mean, you can relate that even to cardiac issues where you telling somebody, hey, you really need to change your diet. Hey, you really got to get on your diet. You really got to get on your diet. And then boom, heart attack happens.
And you have a heart attack, then what?
And you survive a heart attack.
Yeah.
And then you're like, now
fuck.
I need to change. Well, okay, well, now you've had 4 bypass surgery and now you're stuck eating no salt and whatever else you have to do. Whatever.
Yeah, no, that's a great example. Yeah, that's a great example.
There is. It's either it's going to hit you in the face or you can change it when you realize you need to change it.
Right. And people don't think it's a big deal, but it is. I'm trying to tell you. It fucking matters.
Well, financial freedom is a huge deal. And people are like, oh, well, I'll go look into a second job later. Or I really need to get that second job, but I have money to pay my bills this month. And it's a little stretch, but I'll pay my bills this month. And
right.
It's like,
then you're broke.
Then you're broke. And it's like, well, when are you going to be unbroke?
Yeah, right. Right. Now you need 3 jobs.
When are you going to be
Now you don't need 2 jobs. Now you need 3 fucking jobs.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That was a good example. That's a great example. So
Thanks, babe.
it could be argued either more or less hard than having that conversation with yourself as having the hard conversation with someone else. Whether it be, someone you're in a relationship with, an intimate relationship with, or a friend, or a parent, or a coworker, or a boss, or whatever.
Yep.
They're equally as important and they have to be had, because you're never going to, we'll start with work. You're never going to get to where you want to be. You're never going to value where you are in a company unless you have that conversation with your boss or another coworker or whatever, and let them know what you want, what you're trying to get out of it. So then you can decide if then you'll know, having that conversation, you'll know exactly how much they value you. Yep. Or how much they give a shit about you, and then you can then make a decision of, okay, am I going to stay or am I going to leave?
Right.
Is this going to be a career path?
Right.
Or is this not going to be a career path? Which was a thing for me lots of times, because when I was working for other people, I was busting my ass, going all in, doing whatever I had to do. And whenever I went in for a job interview, I made it very clear, like, I want to be someplace where I can either monetarily grow or grow in a position, climb the totem pole. And I don't like to not have work. Like, I want to be working the whole fucking time. I don't want downtime, so I'll go help and do other shit. Like, I put it out there what I want.
You would have been HR's dream, at least my dream.
I wasn't the dream for any other fucking jobs I had.
Well, aside from you may be in my office because of the cuss words.
Well, But I mean, I would tell them. I'd be like, look, I don't even need a lunch break. Like, I eat my food cold. It takes me 5 minutes to eat. And then I'm back to working. Like, I'm not looking to take a 30-minute lunch break. I don't want an hour lunch break. Like, I don't need it. I don't need it. I don't want to do it. And then you go and you bust your ass for this company. And then it's time for them to, show you how much they value you, or show how much they value hard work, and they don't.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you haven't put it out there, what you're looking for, what you're expecting, how do they know what to reciprocate with? And I put it out there in the beginning. I have that hard conversation before you hire me.
Well, the company should have parameters built in place to reward for hard work.
Right. I agree. I agree. Unfortunately, every company doesn't fucking run that way.
We do.
Yeah. But I have that hard conversation in the beginning, so that if you're hiring me,
right,
what my expectations are. I know what your expectations are. I'm going to meet or exceed your expectations. You need to either at least meet or exceed mine. And if you don't, then I'm fucking out. I mean, it is what it is. Because in that interview, you're going to tell me if you can meet or exceed my expectations. So if you don't, then you fucking lied to me. So then I'm out. So I get the hard conversation with
you get them
out the way in the beginning.
You get them out the way in the beginning every time, though. Because when we first met, you got it out in the beginning.
Oh, yeah. I put all my shit out there. I was like, yo. Oh, yeah. I didn't give a fuck. I mean, look. Well, because so vulnerability is huge. We've talked about that before. If you have that hard conversation in the beginning, and I get all my shit out the way to where it's like, look, there's no smoke screens here. This is the recent past. This is where I came from. Like, you're going to hear it from me. You're not going to hear it from someone else. And I'm going to tell you exactly what the fuck happened.
Right.
Good, bad, and ugly. And at that point, you can decide, like, okay, cool, I appreciate that. Or, fuck you, dude. I'm not even trying to dive into that pool. But it's okay. Like, it's out there in the beginning. Like, I give you the decision. You can make the decision. If you don't feel like dealing with it, that's okay. Like, I'm telling you so you can, like, I'm having that hard conversation because I know, okay, look, I'm going to put this shit out there because they're either going to be cool with it or not. And if they're not, that means you're not going to date them. You're not going to talk to them, whatever. But I'm prepared for that because I'd rather have that conversation up front than, like, 3 months in you'd be like, yo, so I heard this, and this, and make it seem like I'm trying to hide something to where now I have to explain and be like, yes, this is true. Da, da, da.
Right.
It's like, no. You're not going to hear it from somebody else. You're going to fucking hear it from me. You know? And 9 times out of 10, only good shit comes from it. I mean, regardless what way it goes. So we're clearly jumping into the relationship realm right now.
Well, with anything though.
But that's what I was saying. But with anything,
it's going to align. So you put out there what you put out there what you expect.
Correct.
And you're gonna either attract because they're okay with that, or they can meet that, or they can exceed that. They're gonna meet you head on with it, or whatever. Or you put it out there and they're like, okay, well, this isn't a good fit.
Right.
And then
which really only benefits you as well.
Right.
Like people get all butthurt because they're like, oh, this person's so hot, or this person appears to be something on social media that looks so great. So like,
how many have we had those?
Right. Like, oh, I want to date this person, not knowing that like they're really probably doing you a favor if you have this conversation up front. And they say, no, this isn't for me. It's way fucking easier to do it then than it is to do it 6 months down the road.
Yep.
When like shit's intertwined, now it's complicated, it's difficult, emotions are sky fucking high, everyone's, yelling and this. I mean, it's easier to get out the way in the beginning. In the job realm, it's easy to get out the way in the beginning, providing the employer is fucking honest with you, because then you could just, if they can't meet your expectations, you don't get to waste your time at a fucking job where that's not going to provide you with what you want.
Well, right. And I'll say this from the job side too, is all about retention. So you want to retain your employees.
Your good employees.
Well, true. I mean,
you don't want to retain shitty employees.
No, but we try to build them.
Right.
I mean, you can have a bad employee and make them a good employee.
Correct.
But yeah, for a job, you want a retention, so you should be honest. They should be honest and tell you, okay, well, this is our expectations. This is what we can only offer you, and then the decision is made from there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a hard conversation. That's a really good advice, though. You should say stuff like that in an interview.
You should.
Anybody should. This is my expectations. This is how I like to work. Like, can you meet this?
And look, if it's a legitimate employer,
really?
If it's a legitimate employer and a legitimate company, they're going to respect that.
Yes, they are. They really are.
They're going to, like, if they get offended that you say that, that's a red flag.
No, because I'm telling you, they're all about retention. So they're going to say, oh, I'm sorry. We can't meet that. We can't. I mean, we've had people ask for a certain salary and you're like, we really can't give you that salary. Yeah. So,
right. Which is good because, again, you're not under the false assumption you're going to eventually get paid something you can't.
Correct.
That you're not.
Right.
So you're not wasting your time someplace you shouldn't be. Same thing in relationships. Right. Like all the shit I went through, I was perfectly fine being single. I didn't have to be in a relationship. I wanted to be in one. I wanted to share life experiences with someone. I wanted to build a family with someone. If that didn't happen, I was fine. My life wasn't built around, I got to be in a relationship.
No, then you're not whole.
Right. It was a want. I was fine by myself.
Right.
I would like to share my life with someone, with the right person, not with anyone, with the someone. So that's what I wanted.
Okay.
I didn't want to waste time. I didn't want a serial date. I didn't want to do all this shit. So when I started talking to someone, the hard conversation came out in the beginning.
Right.
Like, it's not like you go on a date. It's like, hey, this is just what I went through. I mean, it organically, when the door opened to organically bring it up, I would bring it up.
Right.
But I didn't want to waste time with somebody I wasn't supposed to be with.
Right.
I didn't want to waste time with someone where it wasn't going to go anywhere. I mean, that's why the relationship I had before you ended, was because she wanted more and I wanted more, but us together, we hit the ceiling.
Yeah.
And it couldn't go more. Well, she wanted more and I wanted more, but we couldn't have more together. So we just had to go our separate ways. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, neither one of us wanted to waste time or be somewhere where we couldn't ultimately have what we wanted.
Well, like I said, like time compounds. Time compounds. So the longer that she stays, that's wasted time where she could be building with someone else, and vice versa.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so I had that hard conversation with her in the beginning too. I was like, look, this is, the Louisiana is really small.
Louisiana is very small.
People talk. So that was my thing. Is like, look, I'm going to put my dirty laundry out there because I'm not going to have people. The thing I learned, side note, like we're going to step to the side real quick. The thing I learned about vulnerability in one of the books that I read, I don't remember the name of the book. But they talked about how when they gave a scenario where you walk into a room and it's like a social gathering, a party or whatever. And you walk in knowing everyone in the room knows your shit because you've owned it. You have voiced, yes, I'm a liar. I'm a cheater. I was a liar. I was a cheater. I was a piece of shit. I was this, that, and the other. Yep. I did this. I did what you said. I did what she said. I did what he I did all this. You take that power from other people to be able to talk shit about you, and you become the most powerful person in the room because no one else is doing that. So like these two people are whispering about this person, and these two people are whispering about what this person did, and this group is whispering about this group because no one owns their shit. Everyone like either doesn't talk about it or talks about other people's shit.
Sounds like you're in the wrong room.
Well, like I said, it was a scenario in this book showing
we don't walk in rooms like that where people talk shit.
It was a scenario in the book showing the power of vulnerability to where when you can go and own your shit, no one can say anything. There's nothing to say about you because you've said it all.
Right.
So like these people can't talk shit about you because you already talk shit about yourself. You've already put all your shit out there. And these people can't talk shit about you. It's almost like in the movie 8 Mile at the end when Eminem's rapping against your boy and like he says everything they did to him. He's like, yeah, y'all did fuck my girl. All you bitches did beat me up. I am white trash. I do live in a trailer park. And at the end he's like, okay, now tell these people something they don't know about me. And the dude couldn't say anything because he owned all his shit. He's like, yeah, this is all fucked up shit about me. Now say something everybody else don't know. And they couldn't. The same thing. Right. Like you walk in a room and it's like none of y'all could say a fucking thing about me because I already aired it all.
Yeah.
And that's the power and vulnerability. That's will gain respect for you from other people. And that's why I put all that shit out there in the beginning. Because it's like, you're not going to hear... Like, I'm going to tell you what's going on. So when someone else tries to like walk up and talk shit about me, you can be like, yeah, I know. He already told me. And then they're like,
okay, well,
like they got nothing to say.
Well, I will say this. So back to that whole concept, you did tell me everything, but since you and I have started dating, not a peep, not a peep. No one has said anything. No one's been like, oh, Taylor, did you hear? Oh, Taylor, what about that? Like, no one.
Well,
it's probably because you just owned everything. You're like, well, she already knows.
Well, so I make it I've done several podcasts for other people. Like they've had me on and they always want to talk about like my journey or what I went through or how I ended up creating Valhalla, blah, blah, blah. And it just like the shit I went through always comes up. And I always make it a point to talk about it because I'm like, no, you don't understand. Like I put my shit out there. No one's going to be able to bring up anything about me that's true, that's shitty.
But they don't.
That I haven't already said.
Right. Well, they don't even bring it up because you have to put it out there.
Yeah.
It's like
multiple times.
Right. So like, what are you telling me that's new?
Right. What the fuck are you going to say that he hasn't already aired out all about on himself?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
But having that conversation in the beginning, having that conversation with a person you're trying to be in a relationship, like, look, this is what I'm looking for. This is what I'm not looking for. This is the type of person I'm looking for. You know, I mean, I think I told you when we first started, I was like, I have to be with someone that is self-aware and cognizant of like personal growth because I am. So I can't be with someone that's not because I want to keep doing this.
Right.
So I can't be with someone that's doing this because then we're growing apart. you know? Which if you don't put that out there in the beginning, and now you're with someone where you're growing and they're not.
But I feel like anybody's gonna be like, yeah, that's me. I'm on board for that.
I think you can tell really quick though, because there's conversations
within like days. You're like,
like if you're a self-aware person, and if you've done the work and you're focused on your personal growth, your continual personal growth, because it never stops. There's certain conversations you just can and can't have with people. Like I've had conversations with you that I've not been able to have with other people because
I feel special.
You should. You feel very special. You have that growth mindset. So like there's just certain shit that like you try to talk about with someone else and they're like, yeah, that's great. And it's like, you don't get what the fuck I'm saying. Like, you don't have a fucking clue, dude. Like, what? You're literally nodding and smiling, you know? But you can contribute shit back. And we go into a deeper conversation because you're on that, you have that same mindset.
Right.
You want that same shit. So, yeah, if you're just saying shit because you think it sounds good to someone else, expecting that they're going to reciprocate the same thing, well, yeah, y'all are both putting up a fucking smoke screen from the beginning. So, like, yeah, this is not going anywhere fucking good. It's just not.
Yeah.
So, and people talk about the whole aspect of relationships of like, oh, men are this or women are this, or, you know, there's no good people left in the world, and, you know, everyone cheats and blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, okay, did you draw that line in the sand and have that conversation about what you're going to tolerate and what you're not going to tolerate? And like, this is a unconditional for me. This is a deal breaker for me. This is like you do this once and there's no conversation. There's no explanation. Like you do this and it's done. Like, did you have that conversation? Did you have that really hard, uncomfortable conversation, putting it out there? Or did you not? And most times they don't. They're just so wrapped up in getting to know each other, where they're like, oh, this person's so attractive or this and that. They start having sex right off the bat. They're like, that conversation is completely overlooked. When it could have saved you a lot of bullshit.
We've had it.
Yeah, we absolutely have. We had it in the beginning. I was like, I mean, we had it with the, not super in the beginning, but when you said what your end goal was.
Yep.
And that, like, if that's not, you know, that's a non-negotiable for you. And that if I didn't want it, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's totally okay. But you had to step away because this was non-negotiable for you.
Yeah.
And that was an uncomfortable conversation for both of us. But we wanted the same thing. I mean, it was good. I mean, it had to get. Because if you would have never had that conversation with me. Oh,
I learned to never let that happen again.
Right. And then 3 years down the road, it's like, well, wait a minute. I thought this is where this was going. And it's like, oh no, well, I didn't want that. Well, now fucking 3 years are gone with someone that doesn't align with what you want, all because you didn't have one conversation.
Yep.
Like, they're important. They suck.
They're very important.
They're very important. They suck and they suck to have, but if you're with someone that values you and what you want, they're going to listen, regardless how uncomfortable it is. And if they're not, that's going to tell you a lot right there. Like, you should probably fucking leave right there if they're not even willing to have that conversation.
I will say this, though. I feel a lot better having difficult conversations with you because the outcome of the conversations, though.
Well,
I think the reaction of the other person or whoever you're talking to makes a huge impact on whether you can have that conversation or not.
Well, so that's kind of a whole nother topic for a different podcast. But like I said, that should tell you everything you need to know right there. Because I highly doubt anyone wants to be with someone where they feel unheard, where they feel like they can't fucking talk to them, which ironically, that's how my ex-wife felt with me when I was fucked up, because she couldn't talk to me because I would blow up on her and yell and scream and gaslight and this and fucking whatever.
Then that is horrible.
Yeah. And no one wants to be with someone like that.
No.
Like, no one does. So if you're with someone where you're having the courage and the strength to have this really hard fucking conversation with someone and they are completely unwilling to listen to you or to hear you, not just listen to you, but to hear what you're saying,
right,
process it, think about it, see how they can do whatever they need to do better, or see how they feel about it if it's something they align with. If you're not with someone that can do that, is that really a person you want to be with?
No.
Like, fuck everything else. I don't care how great the sex is. I don't care how fucking hot they are. I don't care how much money they make.
That doesn't have anything to do with a relationship.
Well, it doesn't. But what people stay because of that shit. And they stay when they don't want to stay. And that's the thing. All this other shit can be great. But are you really in the relationship you want to have if someone is not going to hear what the fuck you're saying? If you cannot have, because it's not like...
No, that's a partnership.
You're taking a huge step forward to have this uncomfortable conversation. The least that your partner can do is have respect for you and be like, look, I know it was hard for you to fucking say this. And I'm sure it took a lot for you to say this. So I'm just going to shut the fuck up and listen to what you have to say. I mean, it's a respect thing. So if they can't do that, they don't respect you.
Right.
So is that someone you want to be with?
No.
I mean, people avoid these conversations. They avoid having the hard conversation when, just like you said, number one, having them, as long as you're with the right person, can lead to like some really great shit. And or having them can help you avoid
some really bad shit.
You know, being in the wrong relationship, being with the wrong person. And I think having them when you're with the right person and you are heard, the result and the effect of those hard conversations, it just does so much good to the relationship. Like, it builds like trust, because I can trust that you're going to come and talk to me about really hard shit. You're going to trust me that you can come to me and I'm going to listen and like, you're going to feel heard. And that if I need to modify some behavior, then I'm going to modify it. Like it's pretty fucking strong. Like, it does a lot of really good shit. Yet you have all these people that are like, oh no, I can't talk to him about that. Or, oh no, I can't talk to her about that.
I hear that all the time too. Cause like, we'll have conversations and then like, you'll hear like a side conversation. Like, I could never talk. Like I couldn't talk to my wife about those things.
And look, the fact of the matter from my past and what I went through, the fact of the matter is if I would have just owned up to cheating on my ex-wife, we'd probably still be together, because she would have trusted that, okay, I can come to him and ask him if he's doing something wrong, that he's going to tell me the truth. Instead of being like, no, you're crazy. That's not going on. Fuck no, that's not, no. Like, why are you coming to me with that? So if I would have just been honest and had that conversation, we probably would still be together. But I didn't do the uncomfortable shit. And as we've talked about this is episode 12, if we talk about every fucking episode, all the uncomfortable shit leads to really good shit.
Yep.
You may not think it leads to good shit in the beginning, because the shit that it may lead to may hurt or be uncomfortable or cause you some emotional distress. But in the long run, you're going to look back and be like, I am so fucking glad I did that. I'm so glad I did that. I'm so glad I had that conversation. I'm so glad I went to the fucking gym. I'm so glad I stopped eating like shit. I'm so glad I stopped getting off these fucking prescriptions. I'm so glad I stopped buying my $10 unicorn dick juice mocha latte from Starbucks every fucking day. Like, I mean,
I did that. So when I was doing my side story, I was in college and I was studying at the CC's on Jefferson Highway.
I love CC. CC's awesome. But I'd go in there and get $1.75 coffee. That's the difference.
Okay, well, I was not.
Yeah.
So I'd bring my laptop in there and I would study. I'd be in there for like 6 hours studying. And that was like a 3 to 4 day a week thing. And I would be getting coffees while I was in there. Or I'd order food or whatever. And then one day I was like, you know what? I need to balance my budget and just see. Because at that point, I was working 3 different jobs and I was in school. So I had money. I was not, and I didn't have Avery. So really it was just me.
Right.
But I decided, I was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do my budget. I'm going to see where my spending's at. And I'm going to make a pie chart and do percentages of where funds are going.
You need to show them your fucking cup that I got you, because it's so pertinent to this fucking conversation right now.
I was spending, it was like over $400 and something in coffee.
Oh fuck, dude.
A month. And when I realized that I could be saving that amount and I could just go buy $8 coffee bag that would last me a week, and I could break it into what 8 times 4, $32
Yeah.
$30 to 400 and something.
Yeah, well,
I was like, oh my god.
Well, so people just think of it.
That coffee mug, by the way, it's freak in the sheets, and there's a little Excel.
Dual meanings.
There's a little Excel. So I have about, I don't know, what do you think? 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know. I probably have about 8 spreadsheets.
Oh yeah.
Per client's plan.
Yeah.
And most plans are 3 diets.
You love the fucking numbers and the
oh yeah.
graphs and charts and.
Oh yeah, everybody's got percentages and pie charts.
Math is the devil's work. For any of you math freaks out there, y'all are that love math, think math's awesome. Y'all are doing the fucking devil's work.
This is my check-in coffee mug when I do my check-ins and write meal plans.
But so think about it in a grander scale. So you're sitting there saying, "Fuck, man, that's like when we talk about the compounding thing.
Right?
Fuck, that's $400 a month. Well, guess what? That's $4,800 a year.
Yeah.
It's $4,800 a year.
In coffee.
That you could have put like in fucking savings or towards buying a house or a car or I don't know, whatever the fuck you need at the moment. Like that's, I mean, in 2 years, that's fucking $9,600. Like that's not chump change.
No, but they go and buy these coffees, these $10 coffees every day.
Well, yeah, because they think it's not a big deal. It's just $10. Well, yeah. Well, let's start doing some math and see where that $10 is going.
$10.
And then the jaw hits the fucking floor.
30 days a week.
Yeah.
It adds up quick.
Yeah. And that's just that. What if they're buying some other frivolous shit every fucking day? Like it all adds up.
Yep.
Instead of going to the grocery store and buying a case of 40 waters for fucking $3.50, you're buying a $2 water every day. What kind of fucking sense does that make?
Yep.
You know, I mean, all that shit like adds up, but you have to be able to look at yourself and say, I'm not financially where I want.
Right.
Where am I fucking up? What am I doing? And then you got to do that budget. You have to calculate what do I go spend every day on a daily basis? What is that on a weekly basis? What is that on a monthly basis? Like, then you can control like the bleeding.
Yep.
You know, and you stop the bleeding. Now all of a sudden you have, like you said, you have $400 extra fucking dollars a month that you thought, oh no, I'm pinching pennies. I don't have that much extra money. Really? Well, that's a fucking car note. It's a bill. It's a bill or it's multiple bills.
Right. And that was just one example. I mean, I was eating.
Well, right. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like people usually spend money on other shit besides coffee.
Right.
Like frivolous shit.
Leaving there, going to Whole Foods because it was literally a quarter of a mile down the road because it was right there on Jefferson. I'd leave there, go to Whole Foods, go get pho, go pick out whatever else I wanted for my grocery shopping. It's like, why am I?
Yeah, just bleeding money.
Why am I doing this?
Yeah, a slow bleed that you don't realize. That's all it is. A slow bleed that you don't realize. Then you look at the end of the month and it's like, oh, I got a fucking ruptured artery.
When I actually put it in a spreadsheet and looked at it all, I was like, I am the problem.
Yeah, you're exactly. Starbucks.
I'm working 3 jobs and I'm just blowing all this money.
Like when I was going to CC's every day for lunch, you know, I would have multiple coffees, but when you buy a regular coffee, like you get free refills. So I know you weren't. So $1.75, like 2-3 days a week, wasn't a ton, but yeah, people going and buying $10 coffees plus a muffin or some shit every day. Like, yeah, 11, 12, 13 bucks a day. That doesn't seem like a lot, but it's daily.
Yeah.
It's not one day. It's fucking daily.
Right.
You know, it's like the people that the people that say, oh, I eat this snack every day, but it's only 50 calories. And I'm like, well, how many times a day do you eat them? Well, like 3 or 4. Okay.
favorite.
Well, now it's 200 calories, fucker. It's not 50. What do you mean? Like that's why I don't miss having my nutrition consult business anymore because like fuck. But yeah, I would have these conversations like, no, I do this 10 calorie, I do this little snack pack. It's 10 calories. Well, how many times a day you do it? You're like 5 or 6. Oh, it's not 10 calories anymore. Like, you literally think this 6 packs of 10 calories is only 10 calories. It's not math. Like, I fucking hate math.
Okay, you're giving me coaching trauma.
Well, that's why I don't coach anymore, because I have trauma.
Because I've had to have those difficult conversations with clients where it's like, okay, so I've pulled your calories down by another 10%. All right, now we're trying HIIT training instead of cardio. Okay, now we're switching from carbs to high fat instead. All right, now we're pulling protein down. All right, now we're pulling calories back. I'm like, what are you doing? Yeah. Because you're not
and they think nothing's wrong. They're like,
right.
Oh no, I'm doing everything. It's like, okay,
I'm doing everything.
Right.
Like,
I'm doing everything right. It's like, well, what did you have for dinner Monday night? Oh, well, red beans. Well, what did you have for dinner for Thursday night? Oh, we went and had out to eat it, whatever. It's like, okay, well then you're not doing everything.
Correct.
You're not doing it all fucking right.
Right.
In your head you think you are, but in fucking reality you're not.
Right.
Yeah. And that's why that conversation is so important. You have to be able to say, okay, I'm full of shit.
Right. Because
I'm full of shit.
Driving other people crazy with my bullshit.
Right.
I'm literally driving other people crazy with my bullshit because it does. It impacts the people around you.
Well, and for the people out there that, you're the root. So ultimately, you have to get your shit straight. Yes, your shit impacts other people, but like until you correct you,
right?
I mean, it's gonna affect other people. So you have to get real with yourself. You have to have that conversation with yourself. Like, if you're in a relationship and your partner is continually telling you there's a problem, and you're blowing it off like you don't think it's a big deal, or you're blowing it off like you don't think that there's really a problem, you have to be able to look at your behavior and say, okay, well, yeah, they're right. Like, I am doing this. Like, I am staying out all fucking night and not coming home till the wee hours in the morning. Yeah, and yeah, it is a problem. Or, yeah, I am spending too much time on my phone. Or, yeah, I am entertaining this. Or, yeah, this is a problem. Like, you have to be able to own your shit. You have to be able to have that conversation with yourself and say, yes, motherfucker, your partner doesn't respect you, doesn't talk to you, doesn't have sex with you, doesn't look at you, all this shit the way that you want them to because of you. Mm-hmm. It's not because of them. It's because of you. How do you carry yourself? What are your thoughts? What's your energy? What do you look like? It all... Fuck, man. Like, it's all human. People think there's nothing wrong with themselves.
That's the biggest lie.
I don't know why my wife talks to me the way she does, and I don't know why my wife won't have sex with me on demand. There's nothing wrong with me. I'm fine. Meanwhile, you got this set of fucking baloney tits on you. You don't fucking work out. You got baby soft fucking skin. You're wearing the same fucked up raggedy ass clothes you've been wearing the last 5, 6, 7 years. Like, you don't have a personal hygiene program in place. Like, of course your wife doesn't fuck you on command. Like, you look like a bum. You have bum energy. Like, you're operating at like low vibration. You're a low value man. No. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Just fucking don't shake your head. Say it. Am I fucking wrong?
No.
Okay. Would you fuck me on command if I looked like that?
No, baby.
Okay. Well, there you go. Speak up. Fuck. That's why we have you here.
Okay. I will say this. If you get into a relationship with someone and they are of a certain, if they look a certain way, if they're whatever, if they're physically fit, that's part of the expectation. Like, don't let yourself go. I mean, yes, do things happen? Yeah, people get sick, whatever, but like, don't get sloppy, don't get lazy, don't get comfortable being like, oh, well, we're in this relationship, now I can just be a lazy slob and completely let myself go and then expect for the same return on a poor investment.
Correct.
I mean...
Correct. But that's the thing.
It's an investment.
But I hear it all of the time from guys about bitching about how their wives or their girlfriends treat them. And I'm like, dude, look at you. And like they want to get offended and get. I'm like, dude. Look, I'm not trying to insult you.
It's not all about physical though.
No, it's not. I'm trying to have a real conversation with you, dude. Like, do you hold your household down? Do you take care of the bills? Like, are you being the man? Are you fulfilling the masculine role in the relationship? Or is your wife having to do the feminine role and bleed into the masculine role because you're a pussy?
Well, okay, so going into that,
I was gonna say that's a whole other topic. This revolves around having that conversation with yourself and being like, and looking in the mirror and being like, yeah, this person I'm looking at in the mirror and everything that goes around them is why my relationship is not the way that I want it to be.
Correct.
And that's the point I'm getting. I'm not trying to drift into another topic, but it's like these guys want to be like, I'm just speaking from the masculine, from the male perspective right now. These guys want to know, why does my wife treat me this way? It's like, well,
I will say,
you're why?
Well, because they're exhausted. They're exhausted.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, if the man is not being in a masculine role.
Oh, the woman. You're saying the woman's exhausted. Okay, yeah.
She's exhausted. I mean, she's playing both sides. She's doing all the chores in the house, making the money, and so then has to pick up after you and be like.
So she can talk down to you because she's having to take into the masculine role. So yeah, she's going to talk fucking down to you because you're in the child role. You're not in the masculine fucking role. You're acting like a child. Like you won't do the hard shit. You have no responsibility. You're being a fucking child.
Being a child.
Right. Your wife doesn't want to fuck a child. Sorry. Hopefully she doesn't want to.
No, it's actually a huge turnoff.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing as propelling. Like, that's that propelling energy. Like, if you want to be a certain way and have certain things, you have to act in that role.
Correct.
And if you're not acting in that role, you're going to propel away whatever you want. So if you're going to come home and be lazy or not care, be on your phone, not be present the whole time, you're propelling her away. She's going to be like.
But you have to be able to look at yourself and say.
This? You want me to go to work, clean the house, and then come home and while you sit on your.
You can say the word. It's okay. But you have to be able to look in the mirror and say it's you. Like you have to be able to look at yourself and you say, this is the problem. This image I'm looking at in the mirror is the problem.
Yep.
Like I am the problem.
Right.
And so how are you going to fix it? Mm-hmm. You know, like be a fucking man. Get on your shit. Do your shit.
Yeah. Women too.
No, no. I'm just speaking for the male, but yeah, women, same thing. Yeah, like I can tell you right now. And I had this conversation on social media with someone last week. Like, high value men don't fuck with low value women. Like, that's not.
No. I mean, unless they're
no guy that's building
unless it's a bachelor trip and they're paying them.
Well, yeah, and unless it's some like old motherfucker, you know, with some young chick or whatever. But like, no high value man that's trying to build some shit, that is building shit that's made his way, is gonna fuck with some low value woman. It's just.
Well, no, that's a ball and chain.
Maybe that might have been the thing like back in the day or a couple years ago, but now I feel like the shift is turning, and high value men don't fuck with low value women anymore. Like they just don't. It's like you don't. If you bring nothing from the table, all you do is eat off the table. Like I'm not fucking with you. Like no. Like that's not what it is. But all these low value women want tall men with 6-pack abs that make $250,000 a year. And it's like, well, guess what? That's nice. And you can have that if you become a high value woman. Mm-hmm. You don't get to sit here and be a fucking leech and say that. No guy's going to fuck with you. It's just, and these women think they're entitled to it. It's like, no, you're not entitled to shit. Really.
No, and it's always, never mind. I'm not going to be a hater.
We do hate on a lot of shit on this show.
God.
I mean.
No, but
I'm waiting until we get really, really popular.
It's always
just so I can have so many complaints.
It's always the ones that bring nothing to the table that expect the most.
Oh, without a doubt. Because they want to be taken care of.
Expect the most.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And it's so frustrating to see it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's another.
I know. That's why I was like, never mind.
I mean, look, every podcast we do this. We follow the line and then we veer, but we always come back to the fucking line.
But that's a difficult conversation to have. Sorry, you don't offer me shit, so
right.
I'm not interested.
Right. Oh no, I want like I would want to know. Like, it's almost like you're getting like a verbal resume. Like, what have your past relationships look like? What do you do for work? Mm-hmm. Like you're. I mean, it's almost like an interview.
Well, it is.
And I'm going to ask you some really fucked up questions because I need to know. But it's okay, because I'm going to tell you some fucked up shit too. Like, I'm going to tell you fucked up shit about myself. So I'm expecting you to tell me fucked up shit in return. You know? Because we're going to get this shit out the way, like, in the beginning. Yeah. Because we either going to continue on together or we going our separate fucking ways. Like, I ain't got time to waste. I'm not. Yeah. I did that. I wasted 4 years of my life with low-value women, fucking around, ruining my marriage. I did that. Like, that's done. I don't have time I'm not doing that shit anymore. Like, I don't.
No.
You just got real serious real fucking quick.
That's the fuck no.
I think you feel pretty comfortable with everything so far.
Yeah.
I think I did.
You've done a wonderful job.
I was on one end of the spectrum. I think I did a great job finding my way to the other end.
Oh, because this end of the spectrum, I don't go over here. I don't go over here.
Nope. Well, I like my friends fuck with me now, and I tell them because like every now and again someone will want to go to a strip club, and I'm like, don't do that anymore.
No.
Like I did it while I was fucked up. I'm like, I can't.
I can tell you what, I'm not dating anybody that's going to strip club. I'm sorry.
It's just for me.
That is some trashy
for me, one, it doesn't align with what I want. Two, it is a reminder of the darkest place I was in my life. Mm-hmm. So it's a two-part thing. It's one, nothing from that is going to manifest what I want in my life. Mm-hmm. But two, it's a reminder of where I was. Yeah. So I'm not trying to get in situations that remind me.
Oh no, I agree.
Where the fuck I was.
Whatever it is for you, that's for you. For me, I know my worth and my value, and I'm not being with someone that's going to go play in a fucking strip club.
Yeah.
I know my worth.
Right. Well, for me, it's multiple things. One, it doesn't align. Align with what I want in a relationship. Two, it doesn't align with what I'm trying to do financially. Mm-hmm. Like, cause I got shit I'm trying to do with my money. Mm-hmm. I ain't trying to throw it away on somebody. Like that ain't it. You know, I ain't trying to throw it at some fucking naked broad on stage. Like, no, I'm not getting a return on my investment. You know, if I'm spending money because it's going to make me money in the fucking long run, or it's going to make me more financially comfortable.
Right.
And
that's just like gambling too. I mean,
I've never gambled. I never have.
Yeah.
The reason I never gambled when I was younger, before I owned a business, which the reason still holds true to this day, but I always busted my ass and worked my ass off for my money. Mm-hmm. Always worked a lot. I worked too hard for my money to go take a chance on losing it or getting it back. I'm like, yeah, no, fuck no. I'm not. Mm-hmm. No, I work too hard for my fucking money. I'm not going to go risk it like that. Fuck no. Mm-hmm. So, anything else to add?
No, I think we covered everything.
Yeah, I think we did good.
Yeah.
It was good. Have the hard conversations, guys. It's really fucking important. It only leads to good shit. It'll help you avoid a lot of bullshit in your life. It'll pull you out of the bullshit you're currently going through. I really can't stress it enough, especially, and I'm talking from experience because I've gone through it. Taylor's going through it. She can vouch for the importance of it. Book recommendation for this week. I tried to look. I didn't really have anything on having hard conversations, but this was a really good one in terms of kind of like reality check, gut check for your life. It's called Why Has Nobody Told Me This Before by Dr. Julie Smith. Just kind of goes over some really probably some pretty what's the word I'm looking for? Common sense type stuff that's under the surface that when you read it, you're gonna be like, fuck man, like That makes sense. I know that. Why am I not practicing that? But it was definitely it definitely helped me in a lot of shit. It was eye opening in different ways too. It's a pretty easy read. I think y'all enjoy it. So another book recommendation for you guys. Check it out. We'll post the link in the YouTube channel. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you, Taylor, for being here again.
You're welcome.
And giving us some female perspective. Like I always talk about, the reason why we're doing this show is to help people. Life's hard right now. A lot of us are feeling it. Probably more difficult than it's ever been at any other time right now. So if you guys know of somebody going through the shit that we're talking about, if you know somebody that can benefit from what we're talking about, just share an episode with them. Recommend the episode. If it doesn't pertain to anybody, if you think that the show sucks, then don't recommend anybody. But if you do, just share with one person that you can help. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we will talk to y'all next week. Peace.